estate, and especially as a newer agent, it can be really difficult. But everyone was super open and actually gave me like action items, things that I can do to implement. And it was really like uplifting to be around people that are performing at such a high level, because they talked about how they've been rejected from listings and rejected from buyers, or people that had their own family that didn't even work with them. And so it was just really cool to interact with them and learn how I can improve. So it was cool.
But you said a couple of things there. You said that real estate can be difficult.
Yeah.
Real estate's easy. You just get your license, you post your intro video on the gram, and then everyone just calls you to list their home. Isn't that how it works?
Not all of us are as good as you, Scott.
I can't get people to unblock me. I mean, I got my own set of issues. Look, here's the thing. When it comes to family, it's a huge mistake in real estate to go after your family. First off, you don't want to work with them. They're going to drive you nuts. They're going to want you to work for free. They're a nightmare to deal with. They really are. Like, and I think as soon as realtors really check out of the whole friends and family and put them in a different box and keep them as friends and family, because the ones that do get friends and family, they actually don't learn how to do the business. So when I first started, when I got my license, I started doing the Zillow leads, and the Zillow were fine because you just literally sit there, you get a phone call, you go show homes. But I sat there after 6 months and I'm like, I'm not learning how to build my own brand, and I'm giving up 50% of my commissions. Why would I do that? Right. And so, as you get better at this, as you start to build your brand, it becomes a lot more easier. But also, I think from BAM, hopefully you kind of came away with like what your niche is and what you really want to focus on. Do you feel like you were like a little bit more enlightened learning from all these other different people and what they were doing?
Yeah, I think the coolest thing that I learned was just that everybody has their own style of things. And so instead of, you even mentioned this at the conference, like instead of trying to replicate exactly what like Paige is doing or Scott's doing or Matt's doing, like find your own thing, something that you're passionate about. And it doesn't even have to be real estate related. It just sparks conversation, and then you can filter that in and people will be like, oh, like I post something about a bar class that I did, and like 10 people messaged me and was like, where are you doing this bar class? And I was like, oh, I did this here. And they're like, oh, by the way, we should grab like lunch sometime. And it just kind of leads from there. So I don't have a specific niche yet, which I'm still trying to discover within myself. But I did learn that authenticity is key, because that sells,
Love it. Love it. Yeah. So couple items here, and then we've got an incredible guest speaker that was at BAM. Well, I don't know which one we're getting today. Are we getting Guy or are we getting Matt? I hope we get kind of a hybrid of the two, right? But a couple of house cleaning items with what we're doing here with this community. Obviously, this new wave real estate community, we've just combined all these powerhouses, all these people that are really, really good at their specific individual craft. If it be seller financing, if it be fix and flip, if it be commercial, if it be Section 8, if it be social media. Literally, like inside this group, in this community, we are covering every single aspect of real estate, which is powerful. It's beautiful. And you're not giving up 50% of your commissions. You see, when you join other brokerages, they say, oh, cool, we'll give you some leads and we want 50% of your commission. What we're trying to do is we're trying to teach you guys how to create your own leads. I was talking to Sharon at the event, and we talked about agent attractions, and not only agent attraction, but also client attraction. Have you ever seen anyone catch a fish with a hook, where they literally were chasing the fish with the hook? No, you won't catch anything. The way that you catch fish is you become attractive. You give them something that they want, and let people that genuinely want to be around you, they will come to you. Stop chasing the market. Let the market come to you. And so this community is all about, we have all these amazing people that are like, gosh, I want to learn about seller financing, or I want to learn about commercial. And, if it's seller financing real estate, they're going to want to reach out to Maylee. That's her expertise. She's really good at that. She's good on the fix and flips. If they want to learn about commercial, or they want to learn about Section 8, they're going to want to reach out to Brady. If they want to learn about social media, they're going to want to learn from Paige, how do you put together these social media videos? So, there's so many different cool parts about what we're doing here that allows you to learn so many different ways to do real estate so that you guys can ultimately figure out what's your brand and what you guys are ultimately looking to try to do. And then once you figure that out, be very, very good at it. So on these calls, just so you guys know, these calls, house cleaning items, I'll be the bad guy. These calls are not dedicated for each person to come in here and to brag about themselves and to talk about what they're selling or what they have or all that other stuff. These calls are the neutral. These are for the agents. These are to help agents get more leads, get more deals, get more listings, get more buyers, and understand the real estate side of things. We have all of these programs outside of here where we are going to invite you guys to go check out. It might be Mitch and Maley every Thursday night. They do a really cool event in South Jordan. The info's in here, guys. So everyone, please do me a huge favor. When you're in here, this is to learn how to get more listings. This is to learn how to get more buyers as a realtor. This is the real as a realtor so that you guys can build your brand, so you guys can absolutely crush it. This is 1/3 of being successful at whatever you do. Get your real estate license, leverage that, use that real estate license to make commissions. That's what this group, that's what this weekly call is all about for everyone. So we're very, very clear when we're on here. We, talk about how you got more listing. I know Emma got a listing with Paige last week. It's already under contract. They're going to make some money. Rich came in here. He flipped a home. We listed it. It just went under contract yesterday. And the property next door, it took him 100 days. Now, there's some things that we did that were a little bit different next to it, and we got 40,000 more than the property that was 100 square feet bigger. So there's little tiny things in there. Reach out to Rich, who just joined our community, and learn, Rich, what did you do different than the property next door, right? So this call is solely dedicated for us to get more listings, more deals, okay? Second thing is, what I want you guys to do is focus on building your own brand and building your own networking groups. So I did this. All I did is every single week, and I want to challenge every single one of you guys to do this because you'll get so many leads. It will go through the room. Exactly what you just said, Missy. Go out there and do a monthly meeting or a weekly meetup. All I did is I said, hey, we're going to lunch here and we're going to learn about real estate. We're going to invite contractors. We're going to invite people that want to learn how to do fix and flip. We're going to teach you guys something that I have a lot of friends that are really good at, and you're going to learn from them. And so what I started to do is every week is I said, hey, Sweeto Burrito, Thursday at 12 o'clock, let's come to lunch. And at first I got 2, then I got 4, then I got 20. There was one day I had Paige there. I had Keaton the Muscle. We had over 100 people at a lunch meetup. Now, guess what? Because I was the one that started it, anytime somebody had a lead or a potential deal or a listing, guess who they brought that to? They didn't bring it to Dan. They brought it to me. Dan showed up because it was my meetup. So you guys could literally go out there simply once a week or once a month, host a weekly meetup. I know Maley does this, and do a lunch meetup and just connect all the people inside our group and talk about something that you're very passionate about. And as that group continues to grow, all of a sudden you're going to create all of these leads so you don't have to chase the leads. So I want to challenge every single one of you guys just to go to lunch once a week, invite other people, and you can invite other guests that are really good and say, hey, come, I'm up in Logan. We're doing this. We're doing it in St. George. We had 70 people that showed up with Jeremy because Jeremy just said, hey, we're going to do a meetup in a $6.5 million listing. Now you got all the content that comes from it. You got all the connections. And guess what? Anyone that came to that group, they're going directly through Jeremy because Jeremy was the person that literally got up there and did the meeting. He's the one that said, hey, realtor in the area, I know you got a new listing. Can I bring all my friends to the listing? It's really, really not that hard. So that's very important, passionate to me to help every single one of you guys start your own meetup. Even if you start with 5 people, it's 5 people. I promise you, if you give value to people's lives, your business will go through the roof. So that's my challenge to you. We're going to do this across the country. That's why this is going to explode across the country, not here locally. And then guess what? The more people that join our community, we learn from more people. We get to do more amazing things. But guess what? If you run a fix and flip, or if you run a commercial or Section 8, and we have thousands of people inside our community, we can talk about investments outside of what we're doing here. And so that's the name of the game, and that's what we're doing. So next week we've got Paige. She's going to break down her entire listing video from A to Z, which will blow your mind, will help you get more listings, help you build your brand. But we are not next week. We are today. 3-4 days ago, this gentleman walked on the stage, and I had no idea who this guy was. All of a sudden, I heard, I saw this guy denim on denim. He was wearing what is called a Canadian tuxedo, and he walks up on the stage, I think at the age of 4. I think he had sold about $5 billion in real estate at the age of 4. He started about 457 companies at the age of 5. And at the age of 6, he's built a massive team organization at the Real Brokerage. But his biggest accomplishment ever was when he recruited the one and only Paige Steckling. That was the hardest one to get her to come over to Real. But he was able to pull that off. So I want to turn the time over to the one, the only, the myth, the mythical creature, the Canadian sensation, the man with the plan. Let's give it up for Guy Fontaine, Matt Lionetti, the legend himself. He is going to rock this call. Let's go.
Thank you. Well, now I feel like I'm going to really let you down with that kind of energy. Yeah. So, I mean, Paige is going to go through all her stuff. Paige and I think what's cool about Paige and I is we're both very social heavy, and we do things completely differently and still have success in our own way. Missy, you were talking about finding your niche. I think that's something, everyone struggles with at first. And so, right now off the top, I want to challenge you guys because, no matter where you are in this kind of journey, there's always like a new obstacle. I remember when I started doing videos when I had 800 followers, and my goal forever was 10,000 followers. I didn't know why. I just thought at 10,000 followers, everything's going to get easier. And, 10,000 followers came and nothing happened. And then I was like, well, now I want 20,000 followers. And wherever you are, I have a decent amount of a following now. And some people with maybe 1,000 or 2,000 followers would think, oh, that's he's set. That's the best thing ever. But I'm looking at a whole other set of obstacles now. And I'm trying to do things. So yeah, there's just always new obstacles. I found along the way that the followers really don't matter at all. What does matter though is the quality of those followers. A lot of people have hundreds of thousands of followers and are literally poor because they don't know how to talk to them. They're not engaged. They don't know how to convert, stuff like that. So, building a following is good if you can keep your engagement and your quality of the following there. And that's what I've tried so hard to do. And that's what I do. So that's why I'll still get really good engagement on my videos. That's going to be your hardest thing as you start growing, is keeping the engagement that you have now. So my challenge right off the bat, I'm going to challenge you guys today because I've been trying to step out of the box lately for what I do. Because although having a niche, or as Canadians say, niche, having a niche is good, but at some point you're going to have to shake things up a bit because the niche only goes so far. So that's what I started doing this year. If you've seen some of my content on my listing videos this year, you've probably noticed a bit of a change. They're more heartfelt. I did a video for this property, 47 Bennington Heights Drive, which is called Benny. We had a whole very emotional video for it, but I niched down for so long as the funny guy, and I still want to be the funny guy, and I still will be that. But now I have to pivot a little bit because it will get stale, and I know that. So I'm always constantly looking for how can I just do something different, pivot, do something that's unexpected. So my challenge for you this week, if you can, do something that you love. And this is what I've been trying to do. So I love fashion. Everyone who's at Bam Mania knows I'm a Canadian tuxedo guy. I pull off some weird fashion things, but I think they're pretty cool. So I've been trying to like implement that a bit more, like show a bit more of a side that maybe someone hasn't seen. So share something that you love, but you maybe are a little uncomfortable sharing because you're not sure how people are going to take it. I'm the funny guy. I can't be fashionable and funny, So like for me, it's always just been band tees, and I love band tees, but like I feel like I've been not giving my full true self for so long because I was the funny guy, so I'm just going to focus on being the funny guy. But I can be the funny guy. I can be the fashionable guy. I can be the guy with the good listing videos, because once you niche down, you can earn trust in that niche. And once you earn that trust in that community, then they want you to win. Build it on something genuine. Don't build it on shock value. Don't build it by trying to be a bully. Build it on something genuine, because that's when people are going to root for you and want you to win. So when you do try something different and step out the box, they're there with you and they're rooting for you and they're not completely turning on you. So that's my challenge for you all today. I don't know if you want to open it up to some questions on social. We've had some pretty good success lately, my partner and I, with listing videos and converting them to more leads and leveraging them to more listings, and even just getting them sold for more money than all the other listings in the area. So that's kind of my main thing I wanted to focus on today, because it's all about mindset. And there's just always going to be a different obstacle. So just know that you're never going to be satisfied. Essentially, there's always going to be something else once you get to what you hit, and you shouldn't be satisfied. You should always, celebrate your successes, but know that there's so much more ahead and so much more potential for you.
Yeah. So Matt, I'm going to ask you this, and then I want to open it up to questions, to get you to talk a little bit more about what you're doing, because you're producing a lot. You're getting big listings. The last 3 or 4 listings that you've gotten, have they come from your SOI? Have they come from social media? How are you getting your listings? How are you getting your business? I think that's the question that people want to know. What have you done? Obviously, you've built a brand. Yeah, followers. I know some guys that have millions of followers and they're broke.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally broke because they don't understand sales and they don't understand how to convert those followers into production. So what have you been doing? Because I think a couple months ago you mentioned you had a month with like 12 or 13 million in sales. Where are those leads coming from? How are you getting those? And then we'll open it up to the group for some questions. This is awesome.
Yeah. So social media, but 2 sides of social media. So we got the client social media, and then we have the agent to agent referral, which I did not ever even consider being a thing. And that agent to agent referral is the best thing that's happened to our business. There's some months we'll do 8 million in just agent to agent referral, and those leads are ready to go. I'll give 25% all day long for those leads that are ready to go. Like literally, I did, I think like 2 million or 2.5 million last month from agent to agent referral, and they're just ready. And they send over the number, I call them, and within 2 weeks we're in contract type deal. Like they're ready and willing type thing. So that's the first thing.
Let me tie that up there, guys. This is why you go to events like BAM. This is why you go, so you can meet. This is why he's got his niche with the funny stuff, because other realtors see it and they're like, oh my gosh, that guy's hilarious. All of a sudden, hey, I got someone from New York. They're moving to Canada. The first person that pops into their mind is Matt. And automatically, cool, I got this guy. He gives them maybe a 25% referral fee. He takes the client on. Do you guys understand how that works? This is why you guys attend and go to those events. Those that went there met agents from across the country. Now in the future, they're like, oh, you're in this area. You're in Vegas. I want to use you. I know that the officer got a listing out of it. She joined our team. Daniel's flipping a home. I'm like, no, let's use somebody inside of our group, our community, to list that home just by being part of the organization.
Yeah, 100%. And to touch on the funny thing real quick, what I feel like, of course, not everyone likes what I do. I knew that going into it, that it was going to be a little polarizing. But I think for me, why it resonates maybe more than others is because it's all truths wrapped up in funny. And the truths can only you can only know the truths of this business if you're really doing it every day. And I think people understand, like, okay, so he's joking about that, but the things he's saying are so true and have happened to me. And when you can touch on that and like, you know, create that bond, a lot of times over losses. I find most of the special bonds are over those losses. Don't be scared to share those losses. I always say your wins give you credibility, but your losses make you human. So, you know, be happy sharing a bit of both of that. Obviously, if you like, you know, are trying to bake cookies in an open house, you burn the fucking thing down. Don't share that. Maybe keep that on the down low. But everything else, like, you know, talk, like there's been days where I've been like, listen, I'm in, you know, multiple offers right now. We lost last night. This is what we did. And, you know, we're going to take these steps to make sure that doesn't happen again. That's okay to lose. In fact, it's going to happen. You're going to lose and you're going to fail. So, yeah, just like when you're thinking about doing content, just be mindful of that a little bit. I very rarely am just like, you know, it's fun sometimes to just be funny, but a lot of the times, like the car rants I do, they're wrapped up in a lot of truth, which shows knowledge about the industry. But yeah, back to how I'm getting it. That's agent referral, sphere of influence is pretty much it. My partner, Anna, she's been doing this 20 years as well. So she's got a whole list. And now that we've teamed up, we've really, it's been really cool for our clients because she's more traditional agent. I'm more new school agent, and the clients have been loving that, that combo because they feel like they're just getting everything. So that's pretty much where I'm getting it. We're getting.
Can I make a suggestion to that point there, Matt? Like exactly what you said. We have so many amazing people inside this community. Figure out who you are. Figure out your niche.
Yeah.
But leverage other people like Paige.
Yeah.
You know, even at the event, everyone's like, "Who the heck is this weirdo in the red suit?" And then they're like, "Well, yeah, but that's not me. I'm fix and flip guy, dude. I'm the guy in the street corner doing all that." And like. Even Sharon said something. He's like, man, everyone say you don't have to be liked. You don't have to be liked. You just want to be recognized so people know who you are. That's how you're going to build massive wealth. You know, when you try to be liked by everyone, you're not going to, you know, you're going to be in that same category as 90% of the population. So everyone knows who Matt is. Before I met you, Matt, I knew who you were. I watched your stuff. All the guys at the Broke Agent, they're hilarious because they're in the business and their humor comes from real life experiences and making it fun. So I ask every one of you, if you feel like you're weak in one area, leverage other members in the group. Ask somebody questions. Hey, I need help with social media. Cool. I just partnered up with Paige. She's the queen of social media. Let's get on a phone call. Let's lock up this listing. Let's have you join our community. Like Matt will hop on the call too. Like we all win together as we're doing this. Hey, I got a client that's from New York. Matt, you're Canada. You understand the real estate out there. They're potentially listing a $2 million listing. You hop on the phone call. All of a sudden, Matt connects somebody in New York, and then they pay Matt a referral fee on a $15 million listing. They pay Matt 1%. Matt cuts that in half for you. You get half of that. All of a sudden, you get 0.5% on a $15 million listing. That's a big $50,000, $60,000 commission just by leveraging our team with what we're doing here. So.
1,000%, and leverage it in any way from clientele to agent attraction. Name drop. Do some research on these people. If we have a big community now, go see who they're following. If someone they're following is in this community, you think they can be beneficial, bring them in on that. That only helps. So Paige and I have done that. Scott and I have done that. Like, you know, just utilize each other wherever we can.
Yeah, we talked to somebody last night that knew you, you know, from our community. They're like, "Oh, I love Matt." I'm like, "Oh, awesome." You know, let's hop on a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, Missy had a question. And then I think it was Tana. So Missy, go ahead.
Yeah, so just taking it the next steps from converting from social media to actually like getting in person with them, getting on a call, something like that. I've been taking the approach of like, oh yeah, let's go grab coffee, let's go get a drink sometime, whatever. But literally last night I was giving away tickets to a play. That's kind of what I do. I try to like, you know, like you said, just keep giving, be a resource for people. And they're like, oh yeah, I'd totally love to go, but this weekend I'm actually moving into my new house. And I've been in contact with this person for a really long time. And they're like, I had to sell and I bought a house in Smithfield, which is like right where I'm at. And they're like, but yeah, no, let me know next time. Also, I love your content. Keep posting those market updates. It totally helped me. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Just being the person that people will actually go to, and me being first year in business, I can name drop, I can leverage my team's experience. But sometimes people are just like, you know, that's great, but we have someone else. I don't know. So converting from social media and actually getting them to use you, I guess, would be the question. But.
Yeah. And sometimes like when that happens, that is going to happen. And right now it seems like, oh my God, that one person, you know, that's like, you know, they kind of went behind my back, but that's good. No matter how, like that's happened to me, that's happened to Scott, that's happened to Paige, that just happens. Like someone has an uncle that's a real estate agent. That's going to happen sometimes, but you just got to keep like the trick is to just have it happen instead, you know, 9 out of 10 times, have it happen 1 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so now we have to figure out, okay, what did you learn from that experience? What can you do better? What maybe you weren't aggressive enough in certain areas. So now when you play that back, I mean, everything's documented. You've been DMing them and showing them where could you have maybe, you know, hit a little harder, got them on the phone earlier, talked about real estate a bit more. Maybe they were already looking 8 months ago and you were doing all that follow up and DMing them, and they were already working with someone and not even, you know, you never really asked.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned. Ask for whatever you do. Like you think it's such a big deal when, you know, and it's scary. Like you just to flat out be like, so like, are you thinking about making a move or anything like that? Like,
yeah,
it seems like you're being obnoxious, but from the other person's view, it's really not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you build that relationship, don't DM someone, hey, thinking about buying or selling, that's never going to work. But if you've already built that trust, yeah, a month in, 2 months in, yeah, like just so you know, I'm doing all this stuff, and like I've been helping a lot of people in the area. Like we have, you know, I can send you all these for sale. Like if you're thinking about selling right now, you know, now's a great time. You can do this, you can do that. I don't know what your market's like. For us right now, interest rates are still a little high. There's some really good opportunity to buy because rates are going to start going right down. So yeah, you might take a hit on your sell right now, but if you're looking to upgrade and get into a bigger house, now is really the time. And like time is of the essence. Just be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, look back at those DMs and see, like, did you ever ask?
No, I didn't. Yeah. I just like gave instead of being like, hey, could I help you in this way? I didn't specifically ask. So yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna challenge everyone here, and this works. I got 2 million in sales out of it by just asking my neighbor who's a good friend of mine. I said, hey, are you in your dream home? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, where is your dream home? He's like, oh, I want to live in the woods. I want to have lots of acres for me and my kids. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm able to find that for you, do you want me to tell you about it? Of course. 2 months later, under contract on 10 acres, and then I sold his house. $2 million listing. So I'm going to challenge every single one of you in here. Not, are you looking to buy or sell? Don't be an idiot. That's the stupidest thing ever. Seriously, do not do that. You know, we'll have to have a board meeting with me and Matt if you go out there and reach out to people. I want to challenge you guys this week to talk to 50 people, every person you talk to this week, and ask them, say, hey, are you in your dream home? No. 9 out of 10 is going to say no. Where is your dream home? Ask better questions is the problem that we have. Ask better questions. Well, where's your dream home? I'd love to be on the hill. I'd love to be in the mountains. I'd love to be here, there, right? Okay, great. If I'm able to find that for you, do you want me to tell you about it? Sure. Leave it at that. They just giving you permission to be their realtor, even if they have another realtor. So I want to challenge you guys, 50 people this week? Who's up for it? Throw your hand in the air if you're up to talk to 50 people and ask them if they're in their dream home. I promise you, you will get multiple listings and multiple buyers out of this. Are you in your dream home? Secondly, Missy, Matt hit it on the head. Like, it's not that they don't want to use you. It's the first person they see is as a reminder. So if you start hosting these weekly meetups and everyone knows, lunch with Missy every Wednesday, guess what's going to happen? Everyone's going to know that you're the person. So when they're thinking of buying and selling, just like Toronto, me with Matt in Canada, you're going to be that person in Logan where naturally you're going to be that daily reminder. That's why you want to post on social media constantly. So 50 people, I'm challenging every single one of you guys. Not like I want to do it or that would be great. No, 50. Send me the list of 50 people. And I want you to write them down, guys. Every person that you talk to every day, I want you to go back and write down the 50 people. And next week, we're going to call some people out on it and we're going to see your experiences. But watch it. Is it worth it spending an extra 15 minutes of your time to ask that question to potentially get a 15, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 commission? It's all out there, guys. We're teaching you guys this stuff. The question is, you just have to go out and do it. So, okay, Tana had a question. Tana, what's your question?
Hi. Okay, so I feel like I'm at a talk show or something. So do you respond to every DM personally? And if not, what determines who you'll respond to?
Yeah, I tried to. I mean, some are kind of like flagged as like spam or whatever, but for everyone who's reaching out, yeah, personally, I don't really believe in having someone to run that. I think that's the money. The DMs is the money. We have to be personally, if we grow a big following, that's on us. That's just more work now because, I mean, Paige and I talk about this. We get a lot of DMs and requests, and sometimes we miss some stuff, but that's on us. Like, we cannot have someone else do that because people want to work with us. They don't want to work with our assistant or, when they contact us, they're expecting us. So that's the least we can do. So yeah, as many people as, like I said, sometimes an influx will come in and we'll miss something and we could have left money on the table. Who knows? But yeah, for the most part, what I do is every night I'll run through Instagram and I'll run through everything, see if I missed something. And then the request is where it gets really hard for people who haven't reached out before. Because Instagram kind of changed the, I don't know, like the DM section. It used to be a lot easier. Now I feel like it's super disorganized. Yeah. So.
Well, I'll just say, and I'll let everybody know that I reached out to you after our first meeting and asked you a question about my listing and sent it to you. You responded, you looked at it, you gave me some insight, and I was just super impressed with that. So thank you. I'll refer you for anybody moving to Canada.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, like if anyone needs anything, I'm really there. I know people just say that, but I mean it. Like, call me, text me, whatever. Like, I'm here to help.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Maylee's got a question.
Oh, hello everyone. I'm just doing my makeup, no big deal. So no, I just wanted to say that it's really interesting when it comes to DMs, right? So I recently hired somebody to run like my Go High Level account. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, basically it's just an incredible way to streamline yourself, right? And so I hired all this and outsourced, a bot so that it would, if somebody DM'd me a specific thing. So if you have a listing, right, and it's like, hey, DM me for more information, say the word and then give them a word, right? Then anyone who texts or DMs that word gets an exact feed. And that AI bot is so on point. It knows my voice. Like, it's freaky how much it knows my voice, and it knows exactly who I am as far as like how I would respond to somebody, just because it's been following me doing it, right? And so it's learning my behavior. So in the last week, I will say that I've picked up 3 more listings and they'll go live here soon, only because of this bot. I would have missed out on all of that conversation had I not had that system in place. So yes, I 100%, obviously, Matt, you are a freaking savant, but I do think that if we're not learning some of this new technology to duplicate ourselves, we will be lost and we won't be able to grow and take our business to the next level. So I would encourage everyone to look into some systems. And if you need help, like I have multiple people who are like that's their job.
Will you put the link in there, Maylee?
Yeah,
Put the link in there? Awesome.
we use that with BAM
Mhm.
to get that stuff. But it's different. It is different depending on where the DMs come from. There would be the way I get DMs is not, because it has to have a trigger word.
Yep.
So like the way I get DM, like, so Paige and I will get 20 DMs cold.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what we don't want is like, I don't want to have just like because some people you can set up like oh, hey, I'll get back to you, like a robotic message or whatever. I don't want to have that. That what you said is very good for like when you have a video and then comment this and then it gets to that. We do that with BAM and it's very, very successful.
Yeah.
However, that the kind of cold DMs I think has to be manual still.
Yeah, it's not a one size fits all, guys. Really, like when you do that, you lose relation. If I get one of those from somebody and that's a friend of mine and it's auto, I kind of lose a little bit of credibility too. But there's so many different ways to do it. And as far as like so many tools that are out there, like that we could literally talk for years on strategies. Like you guys are all crushing it and killing it. Just take little pieces of it in certain avenues where, hey, this makes sense, this doesn't. But yeah, it makes a big difference there. I think Jake had a question
for videos. If you do videos and then the comment, it's really big. It's really big.
Okay, Jake had a question.
Yeah, I just had a question because I know, Matt, you have like really good quality content on social media. Like, are you thinking of all of the ideas, or do you have like a team that's coming up with those, or are you kind of like seeing stuff online and mixing it in your own way, or how do you come up with, such good content and continue to be consistent in that? What's your strategy on that?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different strategy all the time. I think of it all. I have a really good videographer. I think one thing is the stuff that you're doing with a videographer. You're paying those people for their time. So really understand what you want to do and find someone who really understands your vision. Because I've had videographers in the past that just completely miss the pacing. And there's a lot that goes into make even a funny video because the pacing needs to be right for the joke to land and stuff like that. So find someone you trust first. There's a couple different ways I shoot content. So for listing videos, everything's storyboarded because like I said, we're paying them for their time. I can't spend 10 hours in that house because my clients will hate me and I just don't have 10 hours to spend in that house. So we need to make sure that everything is just like locked and loaded. So Benny, for example, if you've seen that video, took like 2 hours to film because we knew what part was being filmed in what room and it was storyboarded and we had the script written out and we just went bang, 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 bang once we got there. Another way we film is Guy Fontaine, if you've seen any of those videos, that just started as like a couple one-liners that I had. And I said, hey, to my videographer, I was like, let's go to the office. And I'm just going to like riff. And we got like 20 to 25 pieces of content from that. Just like, and we were just having fun. Like, I had a couple lines and my videographer would be like, well, what if you like talked about, I don't know, like making more money than Costco or something. And I was like, all right, I'll riff on that. And then we just like kept going and going and going. So like, that's really good. If you have a couple, just kind of like headlines in whatever you want to do, bring your videographer or just do it yourself and go and film them and bulk record. Because now I always have like, if have a light week or whatever, and I don't have anything to post, I still have those I have like 25 of them just from that one day. And I'm going next week to film like a bunch of other shit. So sometimes I just do like a bulk thing, but yeah, pretty much I have everything. I write them in my notes. I have a group of people that I share the ideas with, one of them being my wife. And she's she'll tell me if I'm just horrifically off, and she'll be like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. Do not do that. And I'm like, all right on.
He's like, I'm sending it.
Yeah. And it's also very important. We've all seen horrible content, and below that horrible content is like their broker being like, great job. They're not doing them any favors.
Yeah.
Find people who aren't yes men. I have a bunch of people who are not yes men around me, and I'm like, what do you think of this? Eric's one of them from the Broke Agent. I send him everything I do. He'll be like, I don't get this. You have to like change this up because your jokes, I don't get it. My wife doesn't laugh at any of this shit. She'll just either go, oh yeah, it's funny, or no, just do not ever do that ever again. I'm like, all right on. But it's really important to like, and I'll tell you, and I don't want to be a dick, and I know Scott doesn't want to be a dick, but like, we will tell you because we understand that it's your brand that you're building. So show us your stuff. And sometimes you are going to have to, like, my videos from when I started to now, like, it is night and day how much better they've gotten, but I know I can still get so much better. And maybe in, another couple of years, I'm going to look back at this batch and be like, holy shit, like that was not good. That's always going to be part of it. But like, it's very important to surround yourself with people who are going to be honest and give constructive criticism, not just be like, oh yeah, you're awesome. You're the best thing ever. You're going to crush it. That's good every now and then, because we all need that sometimes. But to really, where the growth really happens is when you can take that criticism. Because I've taken a lot of it. Like Eric will just flat out be like, dude, you didn't hit it there. That's not it. And that's why, like, more often than not, our content hits. And same with Eric. He sends me everything he does because we have those people who are honest. And as you build in your niche, you start understanding your audience. And before you even do it, like, you'll be like, okay, this one's going to hit. Like, this is just like an easy one. It's going to hit. Whereas at the start, you have something that you're super excited about. And we've all had this. Super stoked about it. It's the best thing ever. You spent all this time on it, and then you post it and it's a dud. And you're like, well, why the hell didn't that work? And then you post a 15-second video selfie mode in your car with your fucking hair all over the place, and it goes wild. And it's just like, and then that's where the magic is, because now you're seeing the one video that didn't do well and the video that does do well. And then you're comparing them and going, well, what did I do here that I didn't do here? And then that's how you keep growing and growing and growing. But yeah, just, very, very long answer to your question. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let me follow up on that too as well. I would just document everything, guys. Document every single thing. We have the cheat code with the stories, how you're feeling. You guys can share that in the stories, so your actual audience will relate to you. Hey, my kid just lost the football team. He's so sad. I just missed out. Like, you could literally go on there and be like, gosh, I had this listing. You know what I mean? And I lost out. Then your audience can relate to you. But document everything, Jake. And then also you got to figure out your brand and what you're trying to accomplish. And a lot of people don't figure out what their niche is. And then they're just posting stuff randomly all over the place. You really have to figure out who you're going after and who you're attracting. You have to ask questions like he asked Eric, and Eric's probably like, well, who are you going after? Where his wife's like, oh, not again. But you need to ask different people. Are you going after clients? You're going after other agents? What are you trying to do? So I think the biggest thing is we just have to ask better questions. So yeah. Stephanie, last question, take it away, and then we'll wrap this thing up. And Matt, it's been amazing, man. We love having you be part of our community and just add so much to what we're doing. And I really appreciate you, man. You've been kind of one of my mentors, and I've learned a ton from you. And I'm just super excited to spend the next 5, 10, 30 years, and some one of these days I'm going to come hang out at a cottage with you in Canada.
Would love nothing more, but you have to wear Canadian tuxedo. You're not a red Canadian tuxedo. You're not in.
Done. All right, Stephanie, take us away.
Okay. I totally love that, because I bounce my ideas off of my daughter sometimes, and I weigh it on how cringy she tells me it is. So it's totally fun. But regarding like planning your social media posts and things like that, like, do you schedule them and like plan them out so you have like a content bank of like, okay, well, this week I have these videos that I'm going to post, and like, how do you do that? I'm like, I get overwhelmed sometimes where I'm like, okay, well, I try to post at least like 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So how do you plan it out to where you can post more and stay consistent with it?
Yeah, I think the first thing you need, the consistency is more important than the posting more. I know a lot of people go, oh, you got to post every day, you got to post. But if you can be consistent to yourself, whatever that, and you can get more consistent over time with more content, but set yourself a goal. If that's 2 times a week or 1 time a week, that you can really attainable goal and be consistent with that. I don't schedule posts or anything like that. I just go for it on BAM and Broke Agent. There is scheduled posts and stuff like that. It also depends what kind of page you're running. Like if you want something super clean and slick, like it's a business page, and yeah, maybe let's schedule these posts and have something that's just like really slick looking. But as a personal brand, that's exactly what it is. It's a personal brand. People want to see behind the scenes. They want to see something a bit more raw. If you're hitting every Monday at 1 p.m. and you're doing this perfect slick video that's taking you all week, it's nice, but it's not exactly always relatable. So I think a good mix of both. If you want to have content days, like every Tuesday and Thursday you're going to post, that's fine. But yeah, just make sure, I don't know. I try not to worry too, like I used to stress so much about it. Like if I didn't have a piece of content to post 1 week, I would be like, it would actually like get me upset. Like, and now it's just like, at the end of the day, you have to be like, okay, this is all great for my business, but it's just social media. It's just Instagram. It's just TikTok. It's not the end of the world. And no one at the end of the day cares. Okay. It's great. They love you when you post, but when you're not posting, like I used to think that I was like Drake or something. Like, oh my God, I'm not posting. Everyone's just waiting on my page for me to post something, and I got nothing. That's not it. No one's waiting for you to post. So post what you like, post what you can be consistent with, and post something that, like I said at the beginning, that maybe you're on the fence about posting, because that's where the breakthroughs happen a lot of the time. And the stuff, you can do a lot in stories. Test all your shit in stories. So I do a lot of those car rants. Those used to be just stories. And that was my test to see, okay, do people like this or do they not like that? Every time I post a car rant into my story, I'd get hundreds of DMs. I'd be like, okay, this is going to graduate to the feed now. And then there's been stuff I post in the stories and it's a complete dud. And everyone's like, what the hell is this shit? This is horrible. And I'm like, all right, well, that goes away in 24 hours. I'll never do that again. And so just do stuff like that. But just know that it's, as much as, we can build a huge business on this and it's amazing. Like, I don't know, find some peace in knowing that like you still have, this is the way I look at it. And I'm going to end it here. There's so much good in our lives that like social media sometimes just like it consumes us. And the way I've really started to look at my life is like, I've already won. I have a good business. I have an awesome wife, and we have an amazing relationship, and we get to go do whatever we want when we want to do it. I've won. All this is bonus. This is just stuff I like to do, and I'm going to do it because I like to do it. So just make sure what you're posting, you like to post, and you're doing it on your terms, because that's going to give you that sustainability. So that's what I would say. Another long-winded answer.
That was beautiful, guys. We're gonna wrap things up. I took a screenshot of every single person on this call raising their hands to ask 50 people if they are in their dream home. I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna hit you up in your DMs and ask you daily if you've asked those 5 people every single day. You do that, it will make money. I promise. Go with your gut. If you're new at the game, you need to post more, because now's the time to trial. Once you've built a massive network like Matt and Paige have, they don't have to post as much, but when they post, they get hundreds of thousands of views. When you're new, you got to figure out what's sticking and what's not. So post, share. If it's in your gut and you say post it, send that thing. Send it. Like, stop thinking anxiety, depression comes from when you're doing things to make other people happy. If you're like, I want to post it, then stinking post it, right? And go ahead, Matt.
One more thing, you just reminded me. You're always, this is what happened to me. I posted a video in 2020. I dressed up like Freddie Mercury and I walked through a buyer's house and I was horrified to post it because it was the most stupid thing I've ever done in my life. And I didn't want to post it. And just remember, you're always one post, one conversation, one phone, one door knock, one whatever, one video away from entirely changing your life. So I posted that Freddie Mercury video. The next day, Ryan Serhant reached out. Ryan Serhant shared it. He did all this stuff. From there, it broke down so many barriers because now I got that credibility of Ryan Serhant liking my stuff. From there on, the entire course of my career changed from that video that I didn't want to post. So just know you're literally that one post away. So when you're just feeling like nothing works, and you have that video saved in your drafts, that could be the one, and you could post it, or it could not be the one, and the follow-up to that could be the one. But always when you're at that rock bottom state where it feels like, oh fuck, like it's just not happening. 6 months before that Freddie Mercury video, I was literally 1 or 2 weeks away from just completely getting out of the business because I couldn't make anything work. And it's always like, there's always, like Scott said, there's a gut feeling, and just follow that and always follow that, and it will guide you. And it might get rocky and whatever, but like, just know that you're one away. You're one away from something great. And that one might be today, or it might be in 2 years, but you're one away.
Love it. Thank you so much, Matt. Guys, send it. Go crush it this week. Go get a listing. Let's get after it. Love you guys all. Let's go, baby.
That was
Boom.
awesome. Thank you, Matt.
If you need anything, see you guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.